All right, guys, day number 2 on the basement job. It is another chilly morning, but it is another beautiful morning. Let's get this day started. All right, guys, day 2, round 2. First thing this morning we're going to do is we're going to get the dozer down the hole, kind of get everything leveled up, schmoozed up, and looking all nice and pretty. And then from there, we will go into house layoff mode. So task 1 for the day, get the dozer in hole. I do not have a crane, I do not have a helicopter, but I have dirt, and I think I can make a ramp. I know it's not near as exciting as the other 2 options, but it's all I got this morning, folks. It's all I've got. Can't see. That did not help. All right, finally got the frost burn off. I'm not gonna do anything real fancy here. I'm just gonna dig us a real quick little ramp. It'll serve 2 purposes. 1, I can get the dozer down in there to level everything up, make it look nice and pretty and a lot easier for us to work on. But 2, as we start stacking this basement out, it'll make it a lot easier for us to get materials and carry everything in and out of the basement. So it'll be a multi-purpose ramp, folks. Multi-purpose ramp. There we go. Biggest thing I'm gonna have to do for this basement is find me some help. Man behind the scenes is still working his real job, and the other guy I had lined up has not been showing up, so that's not good. We'll figure something out, we always do. The good news about this thing is there's no frost on the windshield. The bad news is the heat don't work near as well. Alright, guys, this is one of those situations I will be the first to admit, and I will not even argue with you guys. A skid steer would probably be a much better suited piece of equipment for this this task at hand, kind of cleaning up the bottom of this hole. We're not really cutting or filling in here. We're just kind of getting everything evened out a little bit. If you watch the blade in front of the dozer there, you can pretty much just see I'm back dragging on top of my teeth marks from the excavator and maybe hitting an occasional hump. Whenever I dig these holes with the excavator, I usually try to leave it maybe right at 1 inch high. See how it's a little bit high there, maybe about 1 inch high, and then that way it makes it really easy if you dig it pretty consistent to come back in with the bulldozer and just try to clean everything up. But long story short, the skid steer was tied up on another job. It was not available for us here. We did not want to have that hinder our progress here on this job. I've done it for years. I've done a lot of basements this way, and as you guys can see here in the end, it turned out pretty good again. So basically, just takes a little bit of finagling, but hop down there in the hole, kind of got everything cleaned up with the dozer, and then we were on to the next step. All right, Mr. Millennial, look at that fancy nice hole.
It is a fancy a nice hole.
So now we got to make sure, this is always the anxious part.
Does it fit?
Does it fit? So we don't have a fancy total station or anything crazy to lay off. This is the highlighted, this is the print. This is what we're going to build here, or attempt to build. So basically, to square this thing up, we're going to take the biggest rectangle we can take inside the basement, which is basically, I know you guys can't read these numbers, it's basically going to be 22 by 54.2. So we're going to throw that down, string it up, and then we can measure all of our offsets and all of our crazy stuff from there. Even though you didn't have much to do with it. High five.
Much to do with what? I gotta be careful and I hurt your elbow.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's
didn't have much to do with what? What were we talking
the
about?
The basement actually fits in the hole.
I kept the dirt out of your way. You
That's
could have had to jump on 2 different pieces of machines.
We got a little bit of an overdig here, but check this out. We'll give you a tour. See the string? Got a zag back there. Going down.
Did you say zag?
Yeah,
zag.
Zag. We got a zig over here. This is a zig.
I was gonna say, I don't think
boom, boom. Fits in there. Look down. We got a little bit tight right there, but by golly, she's gonna make it. And this little offset back here fits absolutely perfect.
I don't make you a deal.
Hold on, I'm still giving it to her. Calm down.
I'm ready to make deals.
Nope.
Yep.
Now we get a little bit tight back here, but I called it, so don't count.
You did call that.
I didn't count if I called it. So a little bit tight back there, but she's still.
3 corners you called would be tight. So you ready to make a deal?
What's the deal?
I'll put the waterproofing on everywhere there's ample room. You put the waterproofing on since you dug the hole where it's a little bit tight.
Are you trying to say I'm skinnier than you?
Nope. Trying to say that you dug it, you made it tight, you can put it on.
I got a better idea. Let's get the walls up first. So next step is to get formadrain down. Let us get started rolling on this, and then I'll kind of show you what we got going on there. So hang tight. Alright guys, it's been an absolute mad dash to get this thing ready to pour, and we got it ready to pour. Don't worry, I will get you caught up to speed here real quick, but we rounded up some last minute help. You sure look familiar. I think you've been in a few videos before.
Yes.
The one I remember, you dumped a bunch of rock on my roller, and then I made you get it out, and you had flip-flops on.
I'm working, not driving.
I'm glad you come properly prepared. I think the second video you were trying to turn your truck over, spreading rock up the driveway.
You know,
like
Mr. Dirt Perfect puts you in some real tight spots and some crazy spots sometimes.
You're the one that says yes.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
How long? I think we're gonna go back and do story time here.
Which one?
I think I gave you your very first job probably about what, 20 years ago?
Sophomore, no, freshman year, no.
Been there a bit of 21 years ago.
And you tried to cut my finger.
No, how long did this last? Your
What?
first employment with Dirt Perfect lasted what, 20 minutes?
25, you tried to cut my fingers
No,
off.
I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't even on the roof. I gave him a razor blade. I said, have you ever used one of these before? He said, sure, all the time. Next thing I know, we're on the way in the emergency room to reattach a thumb. But good news, he survived. So, all right, guys, here's what's here's what's going on. It's been crazy. We have been going at this, 2.5 of us for most of the day. We've been going at this for about 6 hours, and it's about 3 o'clock, and concrete's coming in 15 minutes. We can't get concrete tomorrow. We want to get this stacked out, so we just put our heads down, went to work. I apologize, that's why I didn't do a whole lot of filming while we were doing it, but I do want to take time to explain this formadrain a little bit. All right, so here's a cross section of the formadrain. A couple things. One, you can see it's perforated on one side, it is solid on the other side, and it is divided in half in the middle. That division is actually for a couple reasons. One is strength. The second one, in some areas, and we do have it occasionally around here, it's for radon ventilation. So you can actually vent the foundation with this upper one here, and basically you'd have a radon, if you guys don't know, is basically a gas that comes out of the earth. It's kind of like carbon monoxide a little bit. I don't have the best way to describe it. Google it if you're interested in it. But it can be kind of dangerous, and it can be an issue that needs to be addressed around some foundations. So these come in 12-foot lengths, corners, stakes, spacers. That's pretty much all there is to it. So what we do is, you guys seen us lay off the house. We come around, these are our rebar stakes that actually represent the corner of the house. We offset the corner about 6 inches back, stretch a string down through there, do the outside. You guys seen that in the time lapse. We come back and use the spacer to offset the inside and get that all up. Then we go back, and we usually drive stakes on this thing usually around every 4 feet. On a full 12-foot piece, you want one in the end, 2 in the middle, and 1 on the splice. That usually works pretty good to kind of keep everything level and up on the grade. So some people go around and set elevation on all this with a string. We just usually set it with a laser. I'll set one end of the 12-foot piece, I'll set the other end of the 12-foot piece, and then I'll come back and set the middle and make sure I don't have any bow or anything twisting. Now, one other thing that's important is right here you'll see we have a crossover pipe. That basically allows any water that comes from this side to cross over to that side, and then from here, this pipe will be dug over the hill to daylight, so any water that comes around this foundation, which we know we got water coming in back here, will be able to evacuate itself out. Now, we run 2 runs of number 5 bar or number 4 bar, which is 1/2 inch. It is tied, and it goes all the way around. Now, we still have our rebar pins here that represent our wall, and we still have our string on the outside. So after this is poured, we will tie our string off to that, and then we'll have a straight line representing where the wall's at, and we can wet set all the pins in for the wall to stick in. Now, the gravel you see in there, the gravel is, I guess you could call it a little bit of a filler. It's basically to take up any small imperfections in the grade to keep the concrete even and consistent. If you guys look at this hole, it is dug pretty close. Maybe about 1.5 inches off right there, and a little bit here and there, but it's pretty much on the dirt all the way around. So that's it just evens it out, makes it easier to mount to figuring concrete and all that good stuff. Now, the entire system of this, remember, this house is built, and I'll walk through this as we go. The wall is going to sit here, the concrete floor will come over top of them and sit here. So the top of this formadrain, which will be the top of the footer, will be the bottom of the basement floor, which means this whole entire area in here will be filled up with gravel. Everything around the outside will be gravel. The formadrain's there because, 1, it forms the footer, and 2, it allows for the foundation drain to drain. So, you ready for concrete?
Yeah.
I think it should be here literally any minute.
Well, if it's like you, it'll be at least 2 hours late.
Hey, now. I think I was here before you this morning, last I checked.
Well, I mean, you needed help. I mean, obviously.
I was still here for it. Me needing help's an understatement, so. All right, we're gonna probably take a 15-minute breather, wait on concrete truck. I think we lost Matt. Matt had to leave, but I think Mr. Millennial's coming to help. So we'll let him pile in here. We'll hopefully get this poured. Should take about an hour, and away we will go. All right, first truck just rolled in, getting all the chutes on. This is a tough game, Chris.
Won't go.
It'll get the best of us. You gotta hold your mouth right, that's what Grandpa always said. See, just like that.
Give it a little force is what it is.
All right, Alright guys, we call that thing the elephant trunk. The local concrete supplier actually supplies that for us. I do actually own one. It come from eBay. I think it's like 200 bucks. Pretty handy for footers and such. Is that 2x4 low enough? Because that'd be a real flaw in our plan, Mr. Raiders. Oh yes, flawless. See what kind of high quality mix we get from Alters today. Free. Like free. Sounds awful dry. It's not too bad. Yep, just gotta stay with me out there and you're going to that? Well, that is some splashing stuff now. Well, what happened here was we got back far enough he couldn't get his chute up high enough to keep the elephant trunk out of the mud, so we're gonna go on up and around, get all the deep stuff, and then we'll just take that elephant trunk off and he'll be able to shoot it without. So I got that dirt all pushed back up there real good, so he safely should be able to stay a pretty good little distance away from the hole here, get turned around, not have any issues. Got it, made it. Over. You got a smile? I'm glad you could join the party, bud.
Wait, but have you told them we used to all work together?
Who? Him?
We used to pour 1,000 yards a year as a crew. We did! That's a true story! We did! Look at us now!
We're still pouring concrete. I think the joke's still on you guys. All right, let's go this way. That'll work.
Pull any of it, Captain?
That's good, you're good. You're good. We did though. It was fun.
I like how you tilted the truck to get more height than the chute. I put that ditch there for a reason.
You think
I was
that's
thinking
true?
ahead. I measured it off. We need the concrete to come out this end. It's helpful. Yeah, not so much up there.
Oh, I see it right here.
Yeah, not so much up there, kind of more down here. Yeah.
I remember why we left. I remember. Oh shoot. Maybe he fired us. I don't remember.
Well, the first truck is down. Good news, it got just past halfway, which is a pretty good sign. We're gonna have enough concrete as long as our grade holds true. And now we need to go back and smooth this up just a little bit, get around these pins, and then we'll come back and wet set our rebar. But everything's looking pretty snazzy. Looking pretty snazzy. Total chaos as usual, guys. I went around with a footer float and got everything knocked down pretty close. Cleveland's coming back behind me with a hand trowel, just kind of polishing everything off. Chris is going behind him, putting the string back up on them rebar pins that represent our corners. And then from there, I will go back and we will set the rebar pins, wet set them into the concrete. Approximately every 4 feet. Don't really need one in a corner. Now this is not required by code in our area. This is actually required by Nudura specs on a 6-inch wall. The way they state that is, I believe it's 6 foot of unsupported backfill, which is basically a hole over 6 feet deep. They like to have the footer and wall doweled or keyed together, mostly to compensate from the pressure pushing in this way. Now I am fully aware in some parts of the United States it's required for seismic reasons, basically for earthquake code, but the seismic zone we are in does not require that. So we do it to meet the Nudura specs, not the local code. So that is why you see us do it in some videos, and stem walls and other videos you don't see us do it. So I think the second truck just rolled in, so I'm gonna get the rest of these pins wet set in this round of concrete, and then we will go again. Good eye, Cleveland, good eye.
2 of them because of safety glasses.
Cleveland spotted a high spot there. I agreed with him, so we got her out. Oh, Stevie's up for round 2. We're gonna finish wet setting our pins and then pour out that second truck. All right, truck 2's on its way being poured out. I told him I'd get the trunk this time. I got the trunk, guys. Good exercise.
Yeah.
Look, you're dirty. Your wife's actually gonna think you work tonight. Look how much different that concrete looks than what we had before. Should I tell Stevie he's short? So his first round of concrete we got in here is we actually order 3,000 PSI concrete for our footers, and we got 9,000 PSI concrete for our footers because the other contractor had some left over, which we basically got a whole lot higher quality concrete for free. But this here is typically our 3,000 PSI concrete, so that's why it looks a little different, a little bit rockier. We got a good solid base in here, so we shouldn't have any issues. I'm gonna show everybody your fancy screening technique you got there a while ago. I'll video from this side though, so we got the good angle.
I did this for 5 years, it worked right.
I guess that's what you have to do when you don't have very good inseam, huh? All right, I'm gonna jump in and help him. Round and round we go. All right, guys, we are closing in on her here. We got to get the last few stakes wet set in the concrete. Sun is going down. It is getting dark fast. And I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it.
I don't know.
I don't think we have to act, Cleveland. I think we did the real thing.
Oh, that's true.
So,
The concrete crew's leaving.
yeah. So is the sun. It's about dark. I think it's time to wrap this one up. And oh, did you bring me a Pepsi?
Watch something.
See, Chris, this is why.
Nice.
This is why he's my favorite employee that I don't pay.
That is true. That is about fucking.
If I could find a couple more like him and a pallet full of mirrors, I'd be in good shape. On that note, you want to tell them what to do?
Oh, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch y'all next one
Yeah, well, you forgot to say which channel though.
on Dirt Perfect channel, Man
Oh.
Behind the Scenes, Not Your Average Millennial, Logger Wade, any channel you want.
Yeah, any channel you want, but mostly the Derby crew. All right, guys, that's it. That's a wrap. We're tired. We're beat. We got her. We got some exciting stuff coming tomorrow in an orange palette, and I'm pretty pumped about it. So stay tuned for that.